All right, we've been talking about this all so long, right? A lot of market observers casting sort of this emergence of deep seek. Okay, try saying that 3 times fast, as a death knell for technology. But in many ways, it looks like the exact opposite. In fact, just my own personal anecdotal observation, I put together some names that yesterday and today look like massive winners. Now, I will say my subscribers are along half of those names, but I'm really thrilled with them. And some of the big names on there, of course, you can see Meta, Microsoft, both so far look like they could be winners in all of this. So I want to talk about the broadening tech and AI story, because it looks like that's what's really happening here with Verify, their investment strategist, Cinthia Murphy, who joins me now in studio. It's really amazing to me, because the headlines and the news itself felt like, oh boy, the AI story's over, the AI story is over, the tech story's over, the tech story's over, the rally is over. But looking under the hood, it's the exact opposite right now.
Yeah, I think what's fascinating is it shows how much we built the AI story around NVIDIA stock and the Mag 7 stocks, and we forgot about everything else. And, that wasn't exactly, I think, misplaced, because most of the growth has been in those names in the past year. But we kind of knew the story is broader, and we kind of were pricing a stock like NVIDIA to perfection. Nothing can go wrong, or that stock was going to have some correction to do, which is what happened yesterday. So I think we built this vulnerability in these names because we put so much focus into there. So maybe this is kind of a good thing, because now we kind of take a step back and remember that AI not only is a very long-term theme, but it's cross-sector, cross-industry, and is much broader than just 7 stocks.
We're going to talk about some opportunities there, but I want to go to a piece you wrote this week on rekindled growth, but diversification taking hold. Because that's one thing I've noticed, and I've been talking about, the industrials, materials, financials, those are doing well. I just had Mark Newton play it off, saying that that's not going to be the case, not yet. But what do you think? Because, it looks like something's happening there.
Yeah, so if you think about, if I go back to December, so many of the conversations that Verify would be having with advisors, it was all about the concentration risk. Everybody's very top heavy. Everybody's really overexposed to the big tech. And so we've been talking about, hey, diversify, be smart about this, allocate across different sectors, look for valuation opportunities. And we thought the message was taking hold. And then you look at the month of January up to the inauguration, and it was all big tech growth. That's the thing investors are doing. So I think they're starting to understand, I think an event like yesterday is, again, another reminder of why it's important to diversify. And so we'll start seeing some demand going into things like small cap and mid cap stocks, or, different types of things.
You brought up, though, you just said risk, right? You also wrote about leverage the ETFs, which are fantastic, right? They're 2, 3, 4 times.
If you like a high octane type of
when they're going up.
Yeah.
But yesterday, like, for instance, QLD took a massive hit, yet the money still keeps pouring into them. So I want to talk now about this broadening out, because you've got some different ETFs, AI ETFs, and I want to ask you about them. THNQ, what is that?
So it's Robo Global Artificial Intelligence ETF. What I love about that ETF as an example of an investment idea for right now is exactly that broadening of the AI theme. If you think about how that fund performed yesterday, only 12 out of 55 stocks in the portfolio were in the red.
Really?
Everything was up in the green. And there's stocks in there that are up almost 30% so far in 2025. So it's a much broader, it's way beyond semiconductors. You have industrials, you have e-commerce, healthcare, all sorts of other plays in there.
AIQ and ZAP, ZAP.
So ZAP is a brand new fund, and what I love about that fund is it's a U.S. electrification, they call it, ETF, which is, we talk about the electricity demand for all the data centers for powering up all this AI. The U.S. does not have the infrastructure to see 50% growth in electricity consumption. So you don't think that story has
changed for yesterday with that we still need the electrification? We still have an
100%.
Electricity emergency.
It's an infrastructure bet, and that's a long-term bet, and I think that's an interesting fund that captures that through equities. Exactly that. Not only is powered by the AI theme, but also just general infrastructure.
I got 20 seconds for XAIX.
It's a similar broadening concept. They really focus more on the creators of the AI rather than the adopters. So if you really bullish on that, if you don't want to diversify so much into a lot of other industries, it's an interesting fund. It's from X Trackers by DWS. But the point is, there's many different ETFs to do it. The message is broaden it out. It's not just an NVIDIA story. It's not a semiconductor story. There's so much more here as opportunity.
I love it. I love that you find these things, that these diamonds in the rough, so to speak, and it makes it easier for a lot of investors. Thanks a lot, Cinthia.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate it.